Hello, today is November 2nd, 2020, and the time is 10:21 a.m. A lot of people talk about the last days being like the days of Noah. And again, a lot of people are making the assumption, especially Christians, that whatever we're experiencing with current events today is unique to this time, and it's not. We see these patterns based on the cycles of civilization. But I just want to highlight something, how the wickedness in the world is become so accepted that people don't even realize it. For example, the exaggeration of whatever it is that they're trying to present simply to get the attention of whomever they're addressing. And we see this primarily with, say, for example, the courts, where people are exaggerating whatever it is, whatever event in their life, to get the attention and sympathy of, for example, a judge. And exaggeration is deceptive, but this practice of being deceptive and exaggerating, it's just commonplace. It's like, yeah, that's how, as a descriptive, we do business in the world now. And from this, where we really see this being used a lot, is with false accusations. Now, false accusation is a down and out lie. But then when you incorporate the exaggeration aspect to everything, this is where we have a lot of problems. And I know of an individual who is going through his own turmoil. And it's terrible how false accusations and exaggerations have just become so accepted. And not only has these examples been accepted as common, but we see the legalization of wickedness, and laws are being passed and enforced that are just ridiculous. And anyone with a conscience, common sense, can see like this is nonsense. And a lot of this is based on emotions, feelings. And it's become more important how someone feels, as not to, for example, hurt their feelings. And when you look at, for example, in my 7+ year nightmare, where in the end, I guess they had to find me guilty because I was suing the police in the city. I was convicted based on hurting the former officer's feelings, also known as disrespecting an officer, which doesn't even make sense, but whatever. They had to find me guilty. And the legalization of wickedness, for example, abortion and sex change operations for prepubescent children, and all this nonsense, you know when civilization has totally fell apart, when wickedness has become legal. And from there, this ties in with social justice movements, and a lot of people have accepted previous social justice movements, like, for example, this whole thing with children having sex change operations and everything. It's out of control, and there's no fixing what has been done. We're beyond the point of repair. We are in the late stage of the last stage of civilization, the age of decadence, and we repeat history because history's forgotten either by chance or design. And I keep saying this because this is where we're at. And a lot of people are praying, for example, the Most High to fix this and protect and everything else. And it's like, no, even in scripture it says this is how it's going to play out, and it has to play out because it's the cycles of civilization. And again, nothing that we're experiencing today with, say, for example, with current events is exclusive to this time. And the people who promote all this wickedness, say, for example, with the courts, they don't even realize their wicked ways. And They lie, cheat, and steal, do mental gymnastics. They justify their ways. They band together because they're weak, and it's all justified as long as it can be justified. And this is why, for example, with the courts, innocent people, and more than 50% of people convicted of anything are innocent. The courts have to go through this whole make-believe thing because it's a way that they can justify it, and it helps with the mental gymnastics. And it's not just with the courts, it's across the board with anything, with any governing body. And again, governments were only ever meant to establish and maintain infrastructure. And then from there, it just, well, here we are. Everything's being micromanaged like crazy. And law, as well as politics, because they go hand in hand, have become like theoretical mathematics, neither of which have a basis in reality. Perhaps maybe at one time, but definitely not today. And where we see this micromanaging of every little aspect more and more daily is, for example, with tribunals. And a lot of people, the system says, well, there's recourse and everything else with, say, with every aspect of life. And what a lot of people don't realize about tribunals is the people, the adjudicators, the people who sit in the chair, their qualifications, I mean, most of them don't even have any experience with law or understand it. You can just go to their website and dig a little bit, and you can see what qualifies someone basically as a descriptive. If you breathe, yeah, you probably qualify. They hire a lot of people who, for example, may have business experience or whatever. And these people, it's a real representation of kangaroo court, where you can present all the case law in the world and have the best arguments, for example, for your position or position of your client, but it all could be ignored on the whim, the feelings of the adjudicator, and it's terrible. And we see tons of cases, especially the tribunals that are related to the social justice movements, people getting the raw end of the stick just because, and again, everything's based on feelings. And there's a case that I heard of where there was someone was trying to sell something on Kijiji, and the individual posting the ad said, do not call, email. And I guess somebody had, or was it, no, it was don't email, call. That's how it went. And so I guess the person emailed, and the person who posted the ad said, he just got upset. And, maybe this person had, 50 other people email, ignoring his request not to email but to call. And really, neither one of them had handled it properly. However, the person who was replying to the ad by email took offense and made a claim that it was a racist thing, and that the person who posted the ad refused to sell to him because of racism or alleged racism. And really, when you look through it all, the person who posted the ad didn't refuse to sell anything to the person replying, but rather just said, call, don't email, leave me alone type of thing. It's probably this person was fed up with people emailing. Well, anyway, this went to the Social Justice Tribunal, and the person who posted the ad got dinged for a sum of money because they seen it. They concluded it was racism, which is, again, I mean, even just some basic fundamental common sense would say, yeah, the person didn't refuse to sell this person anything. It was more about how this person contacted. Anyway, this is where we're at with the world, and how wickedness across the board has just taken over. And this is the wickedness in human beings' hearts, and they don't even realize it. That, for example, scripture talks about, it's just, yeah, what are you talking about? Yeah, we always exaggerate, we always lie. And it's really devastating when this happens with false accusations. And false accusations, even those are accepted because there's no repercussions for people who falsely accuse someone else. And the few times that there may be repercussions for someone who made a false accusation, especially with the courts or whatever, you just slap on the wrist. Yeah. And these are all things, you know, even if you go back 50, 100 years ago, these things were shunned. These people were shunned. It was not accepted. Today, it's, yeah, we just, you know, we can, yeah, murder babies, unborn. Oh, they're born, sure, whatever. It's craziness. And people don't realize that they're wicked. And it's unfortunate this is the world that we live in. And people who don't want to, say, for example, partake in wickedness are almost forced to. And then, you know, well, it's a call that each individual has to make, right? So anyway, that's all I really want to say was, you know, just how the wicked ways, regardless of to what degree, have just been accepted as mainstream, and it's become part of human nature, and people don't even realize it. So really sharing this for a lot of people, yeah, if you're watching, you're going, yeah, this is, we know this. For a lot of other people, most people, the NPC types, the empty shells, the sheep, I'll call them whatever descriptive you want, they don't see this and they're going to argue this. But there are some people who know, but they put their head in the sand. And maybe this is just a reminder for them to reevaluate their lives, their conduct. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Well, I have my provincial health care form filled out, and I'll be submitting it this morning.